Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team. Talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Virgos here in early July? It's Cancer season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in early July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out for you nice and quick, my friends. We're going to have a good time today. We're going to have some fun. There we go. Cool. So I like this. This is more of a big picture type of energy, and I don't see this card often. I love it. It's really beautiful the way the imagery shows itself there. And it's comforting, and it's very angelic and spiritual as well. So there's a lot going on with it, even though it's a simple image. Now, before we fully dive into that, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this individual here kind of dressed up in costume that looks like a bird with these white doves that are holding this person up by strings, and they're guiding him through this doorway, through this threshold. We also have like this background, which is a beautiful sky. So there's a lot of spiritual nuance and undertone to me. And whenever I see doves, I think of angelic energy. So guide, spirit team, ancestors, spirit watching over us, helping to guide us through, even if we don't see it, even if we don't feel it. So that's a very reassuring type of energy. But when I said earlier that to me this is a big picture type of energy, I'm thinking of a journey, right? Whether I'm in the early stages of it, whether I'm in the middle of it, or even the back end of it. When I see this, it's like I am on a quest, I am on a journey. So I think of big stretches of time. Now, I know this reading is more so like a weekly, just to tap in with the energies, but for some Virgos, you might be looking at the big picture of things, big picture of a situation. Maybe you're looking to the future when this card is here. So it is action, it's also divine inspiration. So just know for some Virgos in this time, you might get certain urges to do this, urges to do that, urges to not do this. I think it's important that you follow that divine inspiration as well. So we're just going to leave it at that for now. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Virgo collective. And while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled An Emotional Warning, and it did feel a little extreme, like it was high, high, low, low, up, down, up, down. So for some Virgos, maybe it was one of those types of weeks where it was a little up and down. And I know life could be like that sometimes. But yeah, it was like big emotional swings. So just know, hopefully that energy doesn't bleed over for a couple weeks, but it potentially can. We're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we can be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my Virgo friends. Yeah, it could be someone else's vibe, especially if you're chilling. Okay, so the spiritual energy is still heavily, heavily in play. We have the lovely High Priestess. I always love when she comes out to say hi and pay us a little visit. That's an energy that works very, very well with Virgo. Let's get a couple more. Big water sign energy. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we got the Devil in position number 2. All right, we're going to take a look at that. I mean, unless you have some Capricorn placements, and that might not be a big deal. Let's get one more. What do we got here for Virgo? Okay. So we have 2 cards, lots of earth now too. So we have the water earth combo, which is usually pretty good. We have the 7 of Pentacles right here on the back end. So the energy on this is like very, very solid to the back. And then for your bonus, which you don't always get, but we have the 2 of Pentacles. So lots of karmic earth energy there. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and it gives us a good foundation to work from. And it's a combination of earth and water, right? We got the Devil, that's earth. We have the 7 of Pentacles, earth. 2 of Pentacles as a bonus, that's earth. High Priestess is water. And I always say when I mix earth and water together in a reading, to me, it represents blessings, potential abundance. What do we do when we grow a garden, right? You have to water the soil. So, like, this combination generally is nice to me. And especially with you being an earth sign, the fact that we are earth heavy, there is a certain comfort to it, right? Because when we have earth, the element itself could represent results. The element itself could represent stability, security, predictability. When I see a lot of earth in a spread, I think of day to day routine, habits, rituals, things like that. I also think of money, work, business, finance, home, and family. So earth energy represents the earthly material stuff around us. There is a big focus on that, especially with the devil, and we'll get into that further. But what's the downside of earth energy? Sometimes it could feel a little stubborn, right? Like it's not a fast moving energy. So in this time, watch out for things like boredom, watch out for hurry up and wait type of energy, because like earth energy is not moving too quick. Then here on the front we have water, beautiful, internal, emotional. So just like we were seeing last week. So whether it's a partnership, a situation, something that we're emotionally invested in, something that we really care about. It's highly intuitive. It could speak about the imagination and creativity, so creative solutions to things. But at the core, it's matters of the heart when we have water. The downside to water is the up and down nature of it, though. Just like the tides, they ebb and they flow, and they're up and they're down. That's why these energies counterbalance each other so well. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the High Priestess. Now, I'm biased. I love the High Priestess. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. So, in this time, if you're one of those Virgos that has a strong energetic sensitivity, that could be heightened in this time when this card is here, where either I'm feeling what someone else is feeling or my gut is trying to tell me this. Like, this is huge when it comes to the divine inspiration, too, like we saw with that Oracle card. So, we love her. She could represent spiritual protection. So that's also another good thing. Spiritual practice, ritual. You may just be researching and studying various different spiritual things when she shows up. But aside from that and the intuition, the High Priestess is a very hush hush, quiet type of energy. She's one of the biggest cards of mystery because look at her. She has that volume of sacred law in her lap, but she's not sharing. She's not talking. She's not saying a damn thing. She's keeping very, very quiet. So maybe you're just not as much of a chatterbox as you usually are when she shows up. She to me just represents mystery, the unexpected, the unknown, like those big questions we have. So we're going to have to look at her and see what this could potentially be. The only downside to her is sometimes she could represent like a secretive type of energy. And listen, secretive energy isn't always inherently a bad thing. There might just be something you're trying to keep quiet about, or someone's trying to keep hush hush about. So we'll circle back on her. Now, moving to the middle, we do have the devil. I don't want anyone to be alarmed by, yes, there are some downsides to this card, but there's some good sides, believe it or not. Now, for those of you with Capricorn placements or you're connected to Capricorn, this is their card due to the goat symbolism. Now, let's start with the positives of what this card could represent. When we look at the esoteric meanings and themes behind the devil figure, especially in different sort of religious beliefs, it is a euphemism for the material world around us, right? And a lot of spiritual people and teachers say, oh yeah, this material world is an illusion, right? And even some scientists are saying it's like we're in a simulation of sorts, right? So that's what this devil could be. It's just like something that could be an illusion, or it could just mean the material world focus. Now, the devil card is really, really good for work, money, business, finance, just like I was saying about the earthy energy. So this can be a good thing or an uptick there. But the downside to the devil, there are quite a few, right? This could represent obsession, it could represent jealousy, it could represent anger, it could represent energy that's very sticky, where it's like, I've been dealing with this thing, this situation, this problem for a long time, and it's hard to move past. So we want to keep a very close eye on this devil because it can be a warning for sure. So now I'm seeing why we have so much of the spiritual protection theme showing up. So we're just going to have to see what's up. Maybe someone you're connected to might be going through a difficult time as well. Now, on the back end, we have a much more chill type of vibe. We have the Seven of Pentacles, and I like this card. It's a card of patience, where, look, what's he doing? He's waiting there for those pentacles to grow. In its positive sense, this could represent a reward, a payoff, a process being worth it or your patience being rewarded in some kind of way. So this could be really, really great. But it could also just represent being in a wait and see holding pattern where it's like I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. And then especially with the devil and the two of pentacles right next to it, it's like waiting, 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 waiting. So watch out for cabin fever, watch out for boredom, watch out for frustration when this card is here. That's the downside of it. Another thing I always mention about this card is that it is very karmic. It's a card of reaping what you sow. So I'm not saying you're going to reap everything you sow right now. It could be someone you're connected to. It could be a situation you're dealing with where energy just seems to boomerang back. So we'll see what's up with that. I'm not going to say it's for sure a karmic energy at the moment. And as we move to your bonus, we have some similarities. We have the Two of Pentacles, and I usually like this card because it's harmonious. It represents balance. But what's he doing? He's kind of just chilling there, doing a little bit of a balancing act. So for some Virgos, life might feel like that right now, where it's like I'm balancing this and I'm balancing that, right? And that's the rough side of this card, where it's like I don't have enough hands to juggle all these things. So this energy could show up when we're busy, 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 or our focus is in a lot of different places, or there's a lot of things on our to-do list. So watch out for feeling overwhelmed. But notice he also has the infinity symbol in that card, very similar to this, like what goes around comes around, the karmic energy looping. So we have a lot of themes that are showing up here this week, Virgo, and I'm feeling neutral about it so far. I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the High Priestess. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that High Priestess here? What is this hidden energy? And yeah, the devil itself could be a little hidden too. We're just going to have to see what's up with it when we get there. But why is the High Priestess? And okay. Yeah, it's like a foreboding type of energy. All right, so we have the Six of Wands in reverse underneath it. Now, for some of you, this just screams a similar energy to what you have as a power card. This is hermit mode to the maximum. So if you are generally a very private type of Virgo, when I see the High Priestess with the Six of Wands, it's like, don't look at me. I don't want anyone looking at me. I'm just going to be over here doing my own thing. It's just really intriguing to me, and I'll tell you why. The Six of Wands to me is a card that could represent victory, but it's also recognition, notoriety, attention, being in the limelight. This is an energy that loves attention. So when I see it in reverse under a very secretive card like the High Priestess, it's like, yeah, no, don't look at me. I'll be over here in the shadow, or I'll be in my little bubble. You could do what you're doing over there. So I don't know. There's just this really strong private type of energy. Now, I'm not saying it has to be you. Could be someone that you're connected to or dealing with, where there's just like this, I don't want to call it an isolation, but it does have this little secretive vibe where it's like, I don't really want to talk about it. I don't really want to share this. I really don't want to be seen. It's like an energy that's just in its own bubble. That's how it feels to me. So again, for some of you, that might be how you're feeling, right? But for others, this could be a secretive energy too. Because remember, the Six of Wands is a card that like wears its heart on its sleeve. It's wide open. Hey, what you see is what you get. I'm an open book. So when I see it in reverse under this High Priestess, if it isn't a very private energy, it is a secretive one. And again, no judgment here. It doesn't mean you have to talk about everything to everyone. But yeah, it is this energy being very, very quiet. We're going to keep going. We'll respect that. We're going to see what the devil has here. So why is the devil in the mix? Why is the devil? I feel like I have to do a quick bridge shuffle. I don't know why. I get that urge every now and then. But let's see what's up with this devil. Why is the devil here for my Virgos? Thank you. Okay. So we have the world in reverse underneath it. Yeah. So the world in reverse is either an energy that's like, it's not over yet, or it's not over till it's over. I'm not completely out of the woods just yet. So again, watch out for things, problems that you may have been dealing with for a while, because to me it feels like it stretches a little bit. But the world in reverse, to me, aside from representing a chapter that's not fully closed, so this could be unfinished business, an unfinished situation where it's like, oh, the chapter feels open. I don't know why, but it feels like there's something unfinished there. So we'll need to look into that, and if it shows up here, because remember I was saying with the energy sweeping back around and the energetic boomerang, now the world in reverse, it's like this energy popping back up, popping back up, popping back up. So again, watch out for unfinished business or situations. But the world in reverse could be things returning, or the fear of it. Right, that's odd, right? Like when I see the devil with the world in reverse, it's like, oh no, here we go again. It's like giving me one of those types of vibes. So just watch out for things like that. It's also like really quiet again with this energy we have on the front, this energy we have in the center. It's like, nope, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to think about it, I'm just going to leave it there. It's like an energy trying to put something on the back shelf, back burner. And again, no judgment here, right? If there's a situation that you're dealing with and it's like, I just don't have the mental capacity for it right now, I totally get it. Then at some point you could do what you got to do with the chapter, but until then this thread stays open. So I do have the unfinished situation or business. We're going to keep moving. That's unique. But we're going to see what's up with the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it feels like, no, this energy, it's lingering for a reason. I don't know what the reasoning is, but it's lingering for a reason. Let's see what's up with the Seven of Pentacles. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Seven of Pentacles here for my lovely Virgo friends? And yeah, just so private too, so private. Like, oh, I don't want someone to think badly of me either. Like, there's this thing that's concerned about what other people might think. Like, that's very specific. Well, let's see what the Seven of Pentacles have. Cool. All right. The energy does even out, and we do have this karmic energy here again. So, like with the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and now the Six of Pentacles, these are very, very karmic cards. Notice that it does have the scales, right? So I think of that. I think of justice. It's kind of like Libra energy here. But I feel like this is actually good, where it's an energy that's kind of fixing itself. And I don't want to use a whole bunch of cliches, but I'm sure some of you have heard the term time heals all, time heals all wounds, time will at least help certain things. And when I see the Seven of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles, it's like, all right, that's good to an extent, but there still might be certain things that I need to put energy towards to get the final result that I want. So I do like how this energy ends up. It feels like it ends up in a pretty good balanced type of way, but it feels like it takes some time to get there. It takes some time and a little bit more effort, if that makes sense. So we have a good result in the end, which is good. Remember, the Six of Pentacles is an energy that's very charitable, it's very open, it's very giving. So sometimes it'll show up if there is somebody that requests help of you, or maybe you're in a situation where maybe you need a little outside help. Nothing wrong with that, right? You might maybe need a fresh set of eyes on a situation. Seven of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, it's like, let me help you. That's how this feels too. So we have good stuff here on the back end, but it is also karmic, right? Like these energies, they do loop back. So just watch out for any situation where there's still open threads or it feels like there's unfinished business, because this energy is really strong here this week. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start here with the High Priestess, Six of Wands in reverse. And to me, it did feel very hermit-like, where it's like, I don't want attention. I just want to be in my bubble. It's just very private, and it doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to really speak. I don't know why it's so isolated here. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. If someone needs a little alone time, they need a little alone time. But it's just like really secretive too. It's like I just don't want to talk about it. Moving to the back end, we have the devil with the world in reverse. To me, this did feel like I don't have enough time for something, so I'll circle back on it another time, or I'll deal with it later. So this could be putting something on the back burner or trying to put it in the back of your mind. But the big thing to me here, it felt like an open thread of some sort, like still some unfinished business, because there's all this energy that seems to loop back or keep coming back up, where it's like, all right, well, I'll get there eventually. There's no rush to do it, but I still feel like there's more that needs to be done, if that makes sense. Now, on the back end, we do have the Seven of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles combo next to the Two of Pentacles, so a lot of that earthy energy. There is something where time will help it, that's for sure, or time has helped it, but it might need a little more proactive effort to really cross the finish line, or maybe that unfinished business needs to be solved in some way, shape, or form. Um, don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it, or maybe helping other people is something that helps you at the same time. I know that's something I experienced personally. Me helping other people actually helps me heal myself. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card here at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Virgo? Nice and quick. Thank you. Okay, Seven of Cups, options, paths, choices. That's the name of the game. I like to call this card the menu board of life. It's huge when it comes to manifestation and creation. And I am a believer that we all have a spark of that divine within us that helps us create and adjust our situations and the material reality that we experience and our perspectives on things. I don't want to get into a whole manifestation talk, but this is one of those big cards. However, aside from choices, options, and paths, because for some of you there might be more outcomes or potential landing zones for you than you think, the Seven of Cups could be very cerebral. It could be in its head. It's very daydreamy, head in the clouds. It could also be fantasizing. So I'm not going to say, hey, Virgo, don't think too much, or hey, Virgo, get out of your head. That's easier said than done, right? Um, but there is like this really, really strong focus about not overthinking something if possible. So keep it simple. We're just going to put it right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The July calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the July subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, I will choose 3 lucky winners to either choose a copy of the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's a must-have, or a handmade pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in today's reading, which one spoke to you the most or jumped out to you the most or resonated with you. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.